In a quite small town in New South Wales, Australia, love turned into something unrecognizable. A woman who once worked with knives for a living would one day use them for something no one could have imagined. This isn't the story of a monster born from darkness, it's the story of a woman made by it. Her name was Catherine Knight, and on Feb night in year 2000, she would commit one of the most horrifying crimes in Australian history. A crime so shocking that when seasoned detectives wept at the scene, Catherine Mary Knight was born on October 24, 1995, in the rural town of Trentford, New South Wales. She was the product of an affair. Her mother, Barbara, had left her husband to be with Ken Knight, a co worker. It caused a scandal in their small town, concerned community. But behind closed doors, things were far darker than anyone knew. Ken was a violent alcoholic. He beat Barbara and he beat the children. He raped Barbara at least 10 times every day. Catherine grew up surrounded by screaming, fear, and blood, not the kind from the slaughterhouse, but from the house. As a little girl, she heard her mother talking openly, graphically about hatred for men and the abuse she endured. Catherine didn't learn love, she learned power. By 11, she had reportedly been sexually abused by members of her own family. The trauma was never addressed, never spoken about, just buried under silence. Teachers described her as quiet and polite until she wasn't. When anger struck, it came out like a storm. She attacked classmates, she threatened children, she threatened even her teachers. But she also had a strange side. She was obsessed with knives. Even as a teenager, she hung them over her bedroom wall. Each one polished and sharp, she said they made her feel safe. At 15, Catherine dropped out of school and began working as a local abattoir at the slaughterhouse. For most, the sight of an animal blood would be unbearable. For Catherine, it felt natural. She excelled there fast, skill efficient. Soon she was promoted to boiling operator, one of the most respected positions, and yes, she kept her own set of butcher's knives, hanging them above her bed. In 1974, Catherine married David Kellett, a fellow abattoir worker. Their wedding was memorable. Barbara, Catherine's mother, pulled David aside and said, "You better watch out for her. She has got a screw loose." On their wedding night, after 3 rounds of sex, David fell asleep. Catherine woke her up because, in her words, he didn't satisfy her enough. That's just the beginning. She attacked him constantly, once hitting him in the head with a frying pan so hard he passed out. She was arrested but always released. They had a daughter, Melissa, but the marriage soon fell apart. Catherine burned his clothes, stabbed him in his face, and threw him out. Catherine didn't calm down, she only got darker. Her next relationship, he moved in with Catherine and her daughter, but quickly learned the kind of love she offered. She accused him of cheating constantly. When he tried to leave, she cut the throat of his puppy in front of him, warning, "That's what happens if you ever cheat on me." He stayed terrified. Soon after, she hit him with an iron and stabbed him with scissors. He escaped, but like many of her partners, he eventually went back. They had a child together, but he finally fled for good after she tried to kill him in his sleep. Then came John Worth, another abattoir worker. Their relationship lasted 3 years and had a son. But when Catherine met John Price, her final partner, she dropped chilling Worth instantly. Price was different, kind, funny, and well liked by everyone. He was the kind of his own and had a solid job. For a while, things seemed normal. Catherine and John Price, everyone called him Pricey, moved together in. But soon her possessiveness returned. She wanted to marry him. He refused. She filmed herself threatening him and even bragged about wanting to hurt him. In one fight, she took a video of him, his belongings, and his kids' toys, saying that she is going to make him pay. He finally kicked her out, but she kept coming back. Price told his co workers how he feared her. She might kill him one day, he said. He even showed them stabs, wounds from earlier fights. They begged him to stay away, but love and guilt made him let her in again. On Feb 29, 2000, John Price told friends, "If I don't come to work tomorrow, it's because Catherine killed me." That night he came home and locked his door. Catherine arrived late. They watched TV, shared a meal, she took a shower, changed, and they made love one last time. Sometime after midnight, as Price slept, Catherine picked up one of her butcher knives. What happened next was violent and swift. Price tried to flee, his blood marked every wall, every step of hallway, but he didn't make it outside. When officers forced their way into John Price's home the next morning, the air was still. What they found stopped even the most seasoned among them. Every room told the same story, a story of range, of control, of love that had turned into something unspeakable. Catherine Knight had crossed a line no one imagined a human being could cross. In final act of domination, she prepared a twisted family meal, setting table as if nothing horrific had happened, as if she could rewrite reality itself. Two place settings waited there, each labeled with name of John Price's children. She wasn't planning a dinner; she was tagging a message. Thankfully, those children never came home. Police arrived first, ending a plan that could have scared them for life. To investigators, it wasn't just brutality that broke him, it was the meaning behind it. Catherine's actions were calculated, symbolic, and deeply personal. She wanted control, and even after left life had left the room. In that moment, Australia realized it wasn't facing a random act of violence. It was facing the might of someone who saw love and ownership as the same thing. Catherine Knight survived her suicide attempt and later pleaded guilty to murder. Judge called her crime so appalling that life imprisonment just is only just a penalty. She remains first woman in Australia sentenced to life without possibility of parole. Behind bars, she is quite controlled and still somehow unshakable. Her story becomes more than a headline. It's a cautionary tale about how violence, trauma, and obsession can twist the meanings of love itself. Evil, it seems, doesn't always come from monsters. Sometimes it builds it piece by piece inside an ordinary person who forgets where love ends, power begins.